Hello and welcome to November. Um, let's see, November. I haven't been posting a whole lot lately, and I do apologize for that. I feel bad about it, and I hope to rectify that in the future. Um, there's reasons, and you don't want to know, and I don't want to tell you. So we'll just move on past that. Okay, so November. You remember the themed sets of drawings that I did, like Mermay, which was a lot of fun. March of Robots, the Junicorn. Um, there's a few others that I haven't participated in. I was going to participate in Dinovember, draw dinosaurs for the month of November. I've always actually wanted to do some kind of silly retro dinosaur paintings, kind of 1 million years BC kind of stuff, dinosaurs and fighting with cavemen and other historically accurate things. I'm not going to do that, and the reason I'm not going to do that is because I've got a pile of other projects that I haven't finished, and I really think I should be finishing projects before I start a bunch of other projects. And so one of the projects that I did finish is I cleaned and rearranged my studio, which you probably can't tell, but I can sure tell. I've got a lot more elbow room in here. It's a very, very tiny space, and it makes a big difference to keep the place cleaned up. So that was a major project, and in the course of doing that, I was digging around in the closet and came across several projects that I had begun a long time ago and never finished, which is a common theme in my life. I have a stack of little drawings like this. This is actually a precursor to all the stuff that I'm doing now. This is what I was doing about 6-7 years ago, where I was drawing mostly from books, magazines, websites, catalogs, things like that. I would find a picture of usually a girl, and I'd draw her, and then I would start putting on costumes and add props and monsters and settings. Most of them were terrible. I threw a whole bunch of stuff away, but I saved out the better ones. And what I was going to do back then, I was working towards finishing up the drawing, making it really nice, and then transferring that drawing onto a sheet of Bristol board or illustration board and trying to work on my pen and ink skills. Now, I've always been a big fan of Frank Frazetta. You have probably heard me mention him before. And I really love his pen and ink work. He was just brilliant with pen and ink, and it's something I've always admired and just said, oh, I wish I knew how to do that. I wish I could produce work like that. Once upon a time, I did a lot of illustration work, and it needed to be in pen and ink because not too long ago, printing processes were very rough, and having a very clean black line on white paper instead of gray tones was going to print cleanly and nicely, and you wouldn't get something like this sheet of paper, which is colored, would never work. I mean, that would print as a great big black square or a big white square, depending on how they adjusted the thing. But the camera was either going to see it as black or was going to see it as white, and so this would be a very smudgy, ugly picture. Just a few years ago. Now we have digital printing, and it's kind of obviated the whole pen and ink thing. So I've kind of dropped that, at least as a necessity. I return to it every now and then in my thoughts as something I want to do sort of as a nostalgia interest. So I may do some at some point. But these, I've decided instead to sort of resurrect the project, but what I'm going to do is use some of this nice paper that I have that needs to be used up. I've had some pads of toned drawing paper, pastel paper, and a few other kinds of paper, just kind of kicking around in my closet. For years, and I haven't done anything with them. And I've got these drawings that I haven't done anything with. And what happens is you take this thing and you're working away on it, and then get a phone call for somebody that wants me to paint a sign or something that's going to put money in my pocket. And I put this on a shelf, and then later I'm looking for something else, which means pulling things out and sticking them over here and doing this, and pretty soon this thing is buried, and out of sight, out of mind. I forget entirely about it and start some other project. So I've actually discovered several projects that this has happened to, and I'm kind of combining all those things. Kind of forget whatever the idea was back then, because it doesn't matter anymore. Turn them in this direction, and so what I'm trying to do is use some very nice paper. This paper will last a long time. A lot of my old drawings are done on cheap paper, which will not last. It will turn yellow and brittle and old. This should last a very long time. And because I traced the image onto there, I don't know if you can see that. I traced her onto this sheet of paper. So now I've got a very clean tracing that I can start with and do a really nice refined job in charcoal, which is something I'm actually good at. And so I'm going to do this charcoal drawing and hopefully have a bunch of work done, something that I can sell. So the next time I show up at a science fiction convention or something like that, I may have a body of work, something for sale. So that's what I'm working on. What else is happening? Right at the beginning of November or end of October, Patreon sent me an email saying we have partnered with Reddit. Reddit.com. What is Reddit, you say? That's what I said. So I went and looked it up. Reddit is very much like an old-fashioned bulletin board. It's actually quite popular. It's just that I've never looked at it. There's lots of topics and subtopics, and you can start your own little subtopic. They're called subreddits. And so you can become the moderator of your own little subreddit. And but I don't know how to do that because I just barely made an account 2 days ago and I've hardly explored. But the instructions for Patreon say, they begin with check your moderator settings on your subreddit, which was just complete gobbledygook as far as I was concerned. So I had to try to go look all that up and say, what in the world are you talking about? So I've now got an account on Reddit, and I couldn't figure out how to become a moderator or create a subreddit. And so I had to go look that up and ask. And the answer is, you're too new to Reddit. You have to earn points. They call them karma points, in order to be entitled to create your own subreddit. So I have no idea how long that takes, how much interaction. You've got to basically spend some time on Reddit, help other people answer other questions, post cool things that people like. Of course, if they don't like something you said, they can give you the thumbs down and you can lose karma. So how long does it take to have enough karma to create a Reddit page just to find out if you people want me to have a Reddit page? I have no idea. That's going to happen, and we'll see, but I can't predict to you how quickly that will happen. Hopefully it'll be fun. I think it's a bit of an acknowledgement that Reddit's got a very, very slick and effective message board. I can tell you that much. So for talking to other people, like on Patreon. If you people wanted to talk to some of the other people on Patreon, you can do that on the Patreon site. So far on my site, nobody has. I don't know how common it is on other people's Patreon. But it would be easier and smoother on Reddit. And I think rather than reinventing the wheel, they just decided to partner with somebody else, for that portion of it. And I think that's what's going on. Not 100% certain. But anyways, that's what we're doing. I've got a big pile of these to work on, and I'm really having fun. In fact, I've sold 2 of them already. So that's good news because I like money. And I like you guys. I really appreciate you. And I will do my best to post a bit more often. As I finish these, I'll share some pictures and make a few more videos. I'd really, really love to hear from you. What would you like to see? Whenever I ask that question in any social media context, I either get no answer or so many conflicting answers. I kind of don't know where to go forward. But I would like to know, what would you like to see? Do you want drawing demonstrations? Do you want me to talk about my politics or philosophies? Please say no. Whatever. I would really love to hear from you, and I really want to thank you so much for your support. Please tell your friends. All right. Thank you.